Hello, everyone. I'm Frank Jernigan, also known as Phrancko, and I'm the developer of the website Phrancko.com and have developed the method of working set-in sleeves seamlessly from the top down. And you can find patterns at, well, actually, you can generate your own pattern that is custom fit to your size at Phrancko.com. Or you could knit one of my patterns from Cast On magazine, where I've published many times since 2017. So that's available at tkga.org. Hello, Susan.
Hello.
Hi, Nick.
Hi, it's Frank.
Hi, Ron. Hi, Cindy.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Sung.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Wally.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Maggie.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Mary.
Hello.
It's nice to see you all again. I realize this is probably the first time I've ever conducted one of these meetings and I wasn't wearing one of my sweaters or a t-shirt that says guys who knit. But I don't always wear a sweater, believe it or not.
I always assumed that you were cold.
Well, Susan, you returned from a fabulous trip.
We did. Oh, it was amazing.
And how was the snorkeling?
With scuba diving, and it
Oh,
was
scuba diving. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
but they're similar.
Yeah,
It
it's
was,
like calling us crocheters, huh?
we use water when we snorkel and scuba dive. It was just everything about it was really wonderful.
Oh,
First class service. The ocean in that part of the world is still very pristine. With some discovery diving, in the sense that the boat doesn't go up to this area very often. And so lots of the dives that we did, no one on the boat had ever been on. So we all jumped in and said, we'll see what we get. And sometimes it was great. And sometimes it was like, oh, well, that's not working. Let's go up and get something else.
And how many people were there?
There were 17 of us on the boat and 21 crew.
Oh.
So you can imagine they were taking care of us.
Did you go alone or with someone?
I was alone, but of course, with the 16 other people, I have a bunch of new friends now.
Yeah.
My admiration to you gets higher and higher. Hats off to you, Susan. Very good. It's always difficult diving with people you don't know, first of all.
This group made it very easy. Yeah, we were, and it was a mixed group: Belgium, Switzerland, France, Netherlands, and then a lot of US people.
The Dutch are lovely. They're always, I haven't met a Dutch person I haven't got along with. They're lovely people.
And our Dutch person this trip was 26 years old.
Oh, wow.
And I think the next youngest person was 53.
Yeah.
So he had that was an interesting experience for him too. But he was great, and he was a wonderful photographer. And it took me a little bit to get back into it, but I am back working on my yoke.
Oh,
All right.
Oh,
nice.
yeah, pretty.
Yarn. So I'm not thrilled with my yarn overs, how one side gets bigger than the other, but I know how to fix that. But I decided not to rip back and do it. It might block out a little bit. If not, anybody who's looking that close at the first few rows of my yoke shouldn't be that close.
Actually, I'm having trouble with that too. On this top I started, but mine's on the bottom. But I'm not sure. I was looking at Suzanne to see how you fix the different yarn, different sizes of the yarn overs, but I haven't really tried. Some of them are okay,
Oh, yeah,
but I'll look at some more videos about that.
you wrap the yarn backwards
Yeah, right.
because I'm supposed to knit into the back loop of mine when I finish. If I wrap it backwards, knitting into the back loop then on the next round is really hard.
Uh-huh.
And so I just kind of thought, well, you know what? And this was all, yesterday when I was thinking, I can't stay awake one more stitch. I just thought, I'm just going to deal with this on my next project.
Uh-huh.
I've got something to show you, Cindy.
Good, Nick.
I'm not sure you'll see it here, but I have a decent.
That looks like a good ending.
It
Yay.
is a good ending.
What did you do different?
I knit my swatch with no alterations at all, no fixes or anything. And I thought, right, okay, let's try one thing rather than all the things to put this right. And the one thing worked. It was as easy as that. I'd watched so many videos on, Suzanne and Roxanne, and I'd watched so many, and I was doing everything that they suggested that you do. And so the combination, like you said, Cindy, the combination of doing all the things, they all cancelled each other out, and I still had a really baggy, loosey stitch on the end. So I tried one thing, worked perfectly first time. So thank you very much.
What was the one thing that worked for you?
It was on the last row. So if I was binding off on the knit row, on the purl row, the second stitch I wrapped in the opposite direction.
That's the one that works for me too.
And that was all I did. I didn't do 5 stitches in the opposite direction to make sure that they were did nothing at
just
all.
The one.
It just all cancelled itself out.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad. That's wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Well, I finished the first 2 of my reports. I've got the fiber report finished and the Phrancko report finished.
Congratulations.
Yeah, great.
Thank you. So,
how many words are those 2 reports?
How many
words were they? Yeah.
The fiber report has to be between 1250 and 2000, and I'm right at about 1700 words. And the Pharaoh had to be 750 to 1000, and I'm about 850.
So the fiber report is your main report for the level 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And working on the Erin report, and it's funny, Erin knitting is the one that I think I actually knew the very least about. And I've pulled from some older books and am finding stuff that's interesting. I've got Richard Rutt of The History of Hand Knitting. There's this one's here. And then
I love his outfit on that book. His outfit's a killer, isn't it, on that book?
And reading him is just like, there's so much fantastic information, but it is like so heavy, and everything is referenced and footnoted and whatever. It's challenging to read, but it is really, really good. And one of the ones that he recommended, and that I think I had gotten it like even when I was doing level 1, is Mary Thomas's book. And I've got both of Mary Thomas's books. This one is the one of knitting patterns, and it was written in 1943, and one was written in 43 and one was 46. And so it talks about and shows a picture of kind of that very first Aran sweater that was purchased, and in that green color, because before they were really more Gansies, and in indigo they were not the big chunky creamy wool that we think of as Aran. And so that's very fun. And then the other one that I'm doing, I've got 3 others that are newer books, but this one is Traditional Knitting in the British Isles by Gwen Morgan, and that one's got some really good stuff in it too.
Can you put the picture up there again of the guy's outfit so we can see his outfit?
Oh yeah. The bishop. he was a bishop.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, this is the really old one.
He's got it all going on though in that outfit, hasn't he?
Oh, he totally does. He totally does.
Have you got Alice for your Aran knitting? Have you got Alice Starmore?
Yes, I do have Alice Starmore. Those are some of the more newer ones. I've got Alice Starmore. I've got the Harmony Guide, which is Aran and Fair Isle. And then there's a little part in Vogue Knitting too.
There you go.
Yes. So there's that. And then I ordered one more that's supposed to come tomorrow from Amazon. And that one was, I can't remember the name of it, but it's an older one also. I'm finding those are kind of interesting. I want to say that one's from like this late 60s, early 70s. It
Your
was one that was
libraries
actually on the list.
and your library's in the basement?
No. It's all here right behind me. But I've got like 2 long library carts and everything. And I use purple file folders, of course, purple for me, purple file folders to have the different sections of things. But it's been really interesting. And the other thing I'm going to do later today, Jerry's traveling and he's visiting his mom in Idaho, and there was a movie, and this was one of the things that kind of sparked the interest in Aran from kind of the beginning. It was in 1934. It was a film documentary that was done about Man of Aran. Men of Aran. And so it's available on Amazon for $3.99 to watch. $3.99. And it's a little over an hour. And it is just a black and white documentary, but it's one of the things that kind of got people excited and interested in the beginning about Aran, and that was kind of where it started. So I'm going to watch that movie tonight. I think that'll be fun.
Do you know the name of the movie?
I can look it up real quick. Because I put it on my watch list. The name of the movie is Man of Aran. And Robert Flaherty, who was a pioneering filmmaker at that time, it's a documentary talking about the everyday trials of life on Ireland's unforgiving Aran Islands. And so it's $3.99, so I'm going to watch it.
It'll be interesting after doing your research whether you agree with I wonder if they sell the myth in the film, in the documentary.
No, they don't. They don't.
Oh, they don't. I wondered if
that came later, because that was one of the things that Rutt talked about was, here's where stuff really happened and here's what did, because there was just kind of had the sequence of events that this kind of got people interested in it. And then there was a designer that saw it, and he was the one that bought the first kind of sweater there and did. And the reason that the sweater was there was in a shop called like Country Workers. And it was a thing that they were doing to have the people there get some money and funds, a way to make money. And so they were having them to knit these things, and they were on big needles, big yarn, in this very specific design. And people, it really kind of caught on big in Britain first. But it's fun learning about it. I geek off on stuff like this.
If you ever get a chance, I don't know if you've already seen, but Alice Starmore on her website has got quite a few videos, mainly color work. But I can't remember what
I've seen some of hers, and I've got several of her books.
But her voice is so hypnotic. She's got the most beautiful Scottish accent that you could just drift. It's absolutely stunning.
That's
She's got a beautiful voice.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's well worth listening to her.
Okay, I found the link and I will put that in the chat. And it is just alicestarmore.com.
I think she's got, that might link to her because she sells yarn as well. So I think it might link somewhere else because that doesn't ring a bell, but it might be right. I might be completely
wrong. Well, this one is for actually stuff that has her current design library, books, textile art, creating colors, photographic art, teaching in online classes. So it's got a lot of stuff on there.
Her
goodness, some of the pictures are fantastic.
I know,
you need to check it out. It's just oh my gosh, the things that she makes.
She's one of my knitting heroes. I think she's marvelous.
Very, very sculptural and more artistic rather than just a simple shape. It's very,
I think that's how our knitting's progressed. It's progressed from, I mean, there's only so many color stranded color work jumpers you can design and knit, and then she did Aran, and I think the sculptural thing is something that's relatively new, that she's sort of, her interest has gone into that, but they're really sculptural, aren't they?
They really are. I mean, it's got all the little leaves and the different pieces and everything. Charles Gandy does a lot of the sculptural knitting and stuff like that too. I mean, he actually shows in museums and things like that, but they're very different shapes from what you think of when you just think of knitting.
Yeah, Alice Starmore has some kind of a thing. It's kind of like, looks like feathers.
Yes, there's some stuff like that.
My daughter got to knit, but she hasn't actually done it yet.
Yeah, I don't know that I would have the patience to do it, but it's truly beautiful. And it's doing the history of knitting report that I did for the level 2. It really is interesting how people did different things with their knitting based on what was available, the time and resources that they had to give to it, and what their needs were. Some people needed to make money and provide for the family. Some people needed to just clothe, and it needed to be really hard wearing. Some people were doing it more for art and creativity and and some people only had certain kinds of wool or certain colors, and everybody took it in the direction that it needed to go to fit their needs.
So how's your day going, Ron?
Good. I think our rush is over. We were getting ready to get everything prepared to set up for yesterday, and looked at the weather forecast to find out it's raining. So we've set up inside the shop, which let us get the setup was very easy this morning. So we just been kind of drifting through the day. It's been easy. So I don't know how many people are just like not eager to get out into the rain today. It's hardly any rain for us. It's a deluge, right?
Yeah.
Hey, 0.1 inches of rain. How will we survive?
So is that really how much you got? Just 0.1?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
But that is a very
sometimes
disruptive amount of rain for us.
Sometimes places that don't get rain, when they do get rain, they really get a lot. Like we're talking an inch in an hour or two. It just like pours.
No, because we're in the bottom of the Horseshoe Valley in the middle of California. We are in rain shadows in both directions. So there's never really that much water in the air unless a huge storm system has blown in. This is just like drizzles. But it still looks gloomy. Let's see.
I remember when I moved to the Seattle area when I was a kid, and I had come from down south where it's like if it rained, you just didn't go anywhere. You didn't do anything because it was going to be a deluge and just pouring. And we came up here and it was like, oh, what do you mean the baseball game isn't canceled? You know, what do you mean you kids are still playing soccer? And it was like, if we stopped every time it rained up here, we'd never do anything. But it's just that kind of drizzle.
Well, I know the Santa Maria Strawberry Festival was on rain or shine today. My mother told me.
So are you having strawberry shortcake for dessert?
I'm allergic to
for dinner
strawberry.
tonight? Oh no!
I'm not
Ouch!
having
That's
anything.
not bad. That's not good.
I've never been able to eat them, so I don't miss them. I don't know what a strawberry tastes like. But
Andrew is also allergic to strawberries.
Yeah.
And we have a story we always tell about that. We were on a nonstop flight from San Francisco to Paris, and they served us a meal and said the dessert was raspberry sorbet, which we both ate. And then in my last bite, I bit into a real live strawberry.
Oh, God.
To make a long story short, the plane ended up turning around over the Atlantic and landing in Montreal to let him off so we could go to the hospital.
Oh, wow.
My goodness.
Goodness.
Pretty disastrous.
Oh boy.
Awful.
Oh.
I generally manage to avoid, and I can tell pretty immediately if I put something with strawberry in it in my mouth, because the membranes of my mouth will immediately blister, like on contact, so I can get it out. And you see, like,
no, he doesn't have that immediate reaction. It starts as redness running up his arms from his hands up to his elbows.
Yeah, when I was small, that was it. They would start with, and then I would just get hives everywhere. But now I can tell pretty much instantly if there's strawberry in my food if I've eaten it. But they show up in the weirdest places as like garnishes on meat in the dead of winter. Why are you putting a strawberry on my steak in the dead of winter? I'm sorry you had to take this entire thing back, but I did not think to mention, because in what world would an out-of-season strawberry wind up on my ribeye?
We have that experience all the time. And so we go to a restaurant and the first thing we say is, he's allergic to strawberries. And so then they say, oh, we don't have any strawberries. It's not strawberry season. Like we're idiots, you know. It's like, but if you don't, then even though it's not strawberries, they got them from Chile or someplace.
I'm aware that it is January, but then the strawberry came. I have to send things back all the time because I didn't order a dessert. Why did you garnish this with a strawberry? Oh well. Once I was in San Francisco with my and we stopped someplace on the way out for a meal. I excused myself to go to the bathroom when they came around and poured water for everyone. And when I came back, my nephew and my friends were like, "Stop! Don't!" They had strawberries in the water bottle in the pitcher.
Ah.
Just halved strawberries.
Oh,
Are you
no.
gonna taste that? Like, it's not like a cucumber. Are strawberries that pungent that a half strawberry is going to flavor your water that much? Anyway, they show up at the darndest places.
You
What I
often get
really
sort of
miss is being able to eat walnuts and pecans. I used to be able to eat them strawberries I've never been able to eat, but I used to be able to eat walnuts and pecans as a child, but no more. And my favorite is black walnut ice cream. And I would give
that
anything
would
for
be
just like a
hard.
scoop of black walnut ice cream, but
Mm.
out of the question.
Can you have any nuts like almonds or
Yeah.
cashews or things like
I can eat
that?
almonds, basically everything else. Yeah, I've never had a reaction to another nut. I don't like pistachios. There's just been too many of them in my life. I no longer care for them. Good money makers, though. That is, I do appreciate them for that. My family we're an ag family. We grow pistachios and farm manage here in the Central Valley of California.
How about hazelnuts? We grow a bunch of hazelnuts up here.
I love hazelnuts too.
I think those are good.
I love them too. They're one of my favorites.
They're really good.
Like, the area where I'm at is basically where the entire domestic almond production is located. This is where almonds come from. This is where pistachios come from. And it is green almond season. I don't know if any of you have ever had a green almond.
No, I don't even know what
this part of
it
April,
is.
you can harvest almond fruits that are unripe, and they taste a little bit like a green nectarine. They have a thin skin of a fuzzy, like stone fruit on the outside that you can bite right through. And the seed hasn't entirely formed yet. So it's like a clear, slightly sweet, slightly tart white gelatin in the middle of the fruit. And you can just like dip them in salt or herbs. You can have them pickled.
I've never heard of that. How interesting.
Green almonds as a snack. If yeah, it's fun. So this April is when the trees have almonds on them, that the fruits are large enough to eat, but the seeds aren't hardened yet. The husks aren't hardened. The stone in them isn't hardened. So you can just eat the green almond. So
that's fun.
and they show up at like the Middle Eastern grocery stores this time of year. So when I went to that grocer last weekend and got some groceries, and they had a big pile of green almonds, even though I could just like walk to the end of my block and pick as many as I want. I still just like got a bag of them and brought them to give to my parents while they were down.
It's fun.
One of my favorites is pickled walnuts. I don't know do you have pickled nuts in the States? So, and I didn't realize until you said the shell's hard, and I don't know why it just passed me by. I could never work out how they've got the whole walnut with its shell in pickle and it's all soft. But that must be the reason they pickle them before the shells get hard.
Yeah.
They're great. They kind of look like small pickled brains, though. That's the trouble when they're in the shell, in a jar.
Sometimes I feel like that myself.
What's everybody working on? Show us what you're doing.
Here's a dishcloth, Mary.
Oh, good for you.
But it's not square. It's
That's okay. It'll still wash dishes, won't it?
Yep.
Oh, and it's a pretty design.
Yeah, thanks. And here's my in the name of humor, here's my lovely hat.
Oh, wow.
Oh, how cute. How nice.
So that's
really
the Vivian Huxborough thing from her domino knitting book.
How cute.
She's one of my knitting heroes. And I made that sweater that's on the cover of that Norwegian, the night shirt book, is it? That I was going to wear that sometime, but I haven't worn it lately. I wear it as a summer thing or a vest.
I love that sweater.
Yeah, it's great.
Was it hard to knit?
Traditional knitting, that was it. This one. Yeah,
Oh,
no, it's
nice.
easy. It's just knit purl, and you have to follow the graph for the knit purls.
But the construction of it was
Yeah,
that
see,
traditional?
you just do a little bit for the front and the back, and then you connect them, knit the two sides together. And yeah, it's two rectangles really, but then the neck does have a little bit of shaping. Here's my other lovely thing too. I'm too talkative. I got to the scallop of this lovely thing. My experiment.
Oh, it's lovely.
Oh,
And
that's
Oh, look at that.
the little
I
wow.
like that.
this is just short rows, but you have to pay attention. So now I started that top, so this will probably take me a while to finish. But that's it.
Yeah, the way
That's
you
nice.
say pay attention, there's things that but it's like there's things that it's like, okay, I can knit this while I talk or while I Zoom or something. And then there's other ones that's like, oh, I have to pay attention.
That's why we have dishcloths, huh, Mary?
Yes, exactly.
What are you working on, Ron?
Well, here, I was going to show you this. This is the sample I made of the new cashmere yarn we debuted today.
Oh, how cute.
Oh, cute.
I only had the time
Delicious.
to knit a sample for a newborn. Although, yeah.
Oh, no.
What a great hat. Yes.
It's the sort of thing you can wear with anything to any occasion.
Yes.
It has the medieval flair to it.
It does. So this sweater is called Kirby. It's a Barocco publication. I don't know who the designer is off the top. It was published by Barocco, and they might have hidden that information from me. But it's called Kirby, and it was a really cute fast knit. If anyone knows anyone who's just started existing, it was a very fast knit. But it was to show off the new cashmere, and the bloom in it is incredibly nice. It's so soft, and so I'm really, really happy with how
Is
this
that your
turned out.
hand dyed?
This color, we settled on the name Old Rose because it looks kind of like the color of a dried rose, but its working name, as gifted to me by my mother, was Grandma's Support Stockings.
Oh gosh, you're not going to sell anything like that. Nobody's going to buy that color.
That's the sort of thing I would buy. That's why it's called Old Rose. But when someone buys it, I secretly know that it's Grandma's Support.
Secretly know. Yes, you can secretly know, but you have to appeal to the masses,
and
right?
now you know too.
Not just you.
But just like, what color is this support stocking? So that is what I finished. And right now I am working on this sweater.
Oh, very good.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, very good.
So this is the thing that's been carted around in my backpack, and I'd been in denial about when I was going to have a chance to work on it. But things have finally gotten to the point where I can get back on this sweater. So I've got to finish this black stripe, one more green stripe, and then it's the cuffs and button bands and collar, and then short sleeves.
Oh, short sleeves.
That's what I've got.
So you're not steeking it to a cardigan, huh?
No.
Ah.
This is staying a pullover, strangely enough. I'm sure I'll wear it once or twice. It's got a very deep V-neck. So
it does.
I think I halved the decrease or increase rate. So the V-neck is twice as deep, but it's the Phrancko V-neck pattern, slowed down the neck opening so I could wear it over a shirt and not have anything near my neck.
And then what are you going to do for the neckline?
I'm going to do about an inch of a star-shaped neckline, but I haven't decided whether I'm going to do it in ribbing or a folded stockinette finish. So we'll have a little cutout here to make a little star-shaped neckband. But I'm still weighing whether I want it in 1/1 ribbing or folded stockinette. And by the time I'm ready to pick up the stitches, I'll know.
You'll figure it out.
Place your bets.
I put the pattern in the chat.
All right. I'll put it in the description of the video.
Oh, let me share the link to the pattern of that little baby sweater in case anyone loves it.
I put it in the chat.
Oh, did you?
Ron.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it's 3 to 12 months. It looks like it would go really pretty quick, and it's cute. It's very cute.
Yeah, I made this in 3 days around panicking to get everything done for your local yarn store day and to get Carrie open. So I managed to do those 2 monumental tasks and knit a baby sweater. I can tell you it's a short commitment, unlike a baby.
Wally, what are you working on? You look like you're counting carefully.
I'm in the point of the V-neck doing the increases on the shoulder and the ends.
Very cool.
So,
Yeah.
every time I get to this, what do you call it? Make one right purl. I have to watch what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know why I'm so confused with that, and the thing I don't particularly, what bothers me is that because we're increasing on both sides. So when you get around to it, the stitch is so tight, I can't even find it to pick it up. So, but that's why I'm looking so diligently down here all the time. So. But it's coming along. So,
is this the piece that was the wrong size and you remade?
Yeah, I'm restarting it all over. So the other one I didn't rip out. It's sitting on the bed in the back. So. I'll find someone big enough to wear it. So. So that's what I'm working on.
To give you just a little more yarn on subsequent rows when you're having to do those little increases, spread your stitches out just a little bit on the little bit more on the right hand
right
needle.
Side. Okay.
On the right side needle, and that'll give you a little bit more.
And then the stitch mark is getting in the way too.
Oh yeah, that happens.
Thank God no one's in the house when I'm with them. The language that comes out.
Well, I just use those little dental elastics. Is what I use.
I might have to make stuff in the yarn, make it thinner or something. So
yeah, little thin ones work good.
Yep. All right. Thanks for the tips. So that's what I'm working on, Frank.
Glad to hear it.
An actual Phrancko. Yay.
Ron, the baby sweater you made, is that the type they call 5-hour sweaters?
Maybe so.
Yeah, okay. Because I've never knitted a baby sweater that in 5 hours that they keep telling you they can do that.
Yeah, it was not a long commitment.
No.
Even though the sleeves were only 30 rounds each, I still got to the second sleeve and it was just like, no, anything but this. I'll have it done in 45 minutes, but please don't make me. That's how it is to make the second anything for me.
Let me see if I can find the one. Hold on.
And I don't even think I could make myself do them two at a time because I would know I was trying to trick myself and I wouldn't fall for it.
So when
No, carry on. Sorry.
when's the show opening for
It opened last night.
Oh.
Yeah. I was just the lighting designer and like production liaison for the board. So my duties are done.
Oh.
I can finally take naps again.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get back my winning personality instead of whatever I've been dragging around with me.
Here's one of those little small ones I got.
Oh,
Oh, that's cute
So,
too.
yeah.
Very
So
cute.
I gotta fix up the strings and stuff, but I did that one for someone whose daughter just had a baby. So they all say 5 hours, and I never seen anything. I don't knit that fast, so I didn't think 5 hours.
Well, I remember a pattern doing, and it was quilt in a day. And my daughter got the fabric and the pattern, and she came home from college, and she was going to be here for 2 days, and so she was sure we could do the quilt in the weekend. And I'm like, are you kidding me? It's kind of like, no, you can't do it in a day. That's just the company name.
Well, here's my sweater. Made more progress this week. It now has a sleeve.
I love those colors.
Are
I just
so
love the colors.
Very nice.
It's just fantastic.
I'm almost done with the first sleeve, and then I have to do the second sleeve.
Very good.
So,
Nice.
That is just gorgeous. How did you choose those colors, Frank?
I went online and looked at Malabrigo and I knew I wanted to do Arroyo. And so I just looked at the colors and I don't know how I chose them.
Because they're not, each of them individually is not colors that you would really think about putting together that much.
No.
And yet it just works. It's just gorgeous.
Well, I studied what they were putting together. So I can't take credit for the color scheme because it's really Malabrigo's color scheme, I think. Though what I saw was this orangish stuff had a lot of red in it. So that led me into the red. So I knew those two would go together because the red already went. Then I thought, well, if it's got red, maybe I want to contrast that with blue. So I chose the blue and then found a multicolored one that included some of the blue. So some of the stitches in the transition to blue here, some of those stitches are exactly the same color as this blue. So this one goes well with this, and this one goes well with this. And then it was just a matter of fitting them together with that.
It's just beautiful.
I think I'm not a better colorist than the people who are dyeing the yarns. So I let them lead in the choice of colors. I guess that's the best way I can put it.
You suddenly reminded me, Frank, when you were showing me a jumper. Did anyone see I think I saw it on Facebook about ladderback jacquard. And they left the floats long at the back. So you had all the long floats at the back. And then they got a crochet hook and just crocheted them up the back. I'm not sure how good it would work, but they just crocheted them all up like a ladderback jacquard, and then knitted it in behind one of the stitches that they were knitting. It looked really quite an interesting take on ladderback jacquard. I'm not sure that if you did a standard float that you'd have enough to then crochet it
Exactly.
without
You'd have to
pulling
leave
in.
extra float to
You
make
would,
room for the knit, and I don't know how you would
yeah.
make sure you had the right amount. So that would be the
No.
problem there.
Yeah, I
But it is
thought
an
that would
interesting
be a
technique
problem, but
because
it was
it would
quite
certainly work.
interesting.
Yeah.
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 So
Maybe
they would just,
if in the middle of your long float, you did a yarn over with the floating yarn and just let it drop on the next row.
yeah, they didn't show how they created the long float. They just presented the back of the work with all the long floats on it, and then they just got the crochet needle and crocheted it all the way up to the needles, and then hid the ladderback jacquard behind a stitch in the normal manner. And I thought it was, if you could get it to work, it would be quite a quick process rather than and less thought, because you haven't got to think about your yarn over, Ron, I suppose, but you haven't actually got to think about doing the ladderback jacquard stitches as you're knitting. It was quite clever, but whether it's practical or not, I don't know.
Sounds like it's more time consuming.
Makes a good reel.
Yeah.
Probably.
Clickbait. So how's your knitting coming? You're looking busy.
I don't have a lot of time to knit during the weekdays, but so I try to get it all in on the weekend. And I've only gotten to this, and it's coming along.
Yeah, very
It's
nice.
good. I'll have
You've got a lot more on the shoulders.
Oh,
yeah.
That's
I'll have
lovely.
tomorrow. I'll have tomorrow to knit as well. So try to get it on the weekends. Yeah. Thanks for asking.
Looks like you got to be getting close to the underarms, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah, getting there. Oh yeah. Yep. Just finished the sleeve increases, and now I'm gonna do the body and the sleeve, and then I'm on my way. Yeah,
it always surprises me how much faster it goes after you separate the sleeves off, because you have I don't know, only 2/3 of what you were doing before, and so it goes fast.
That makes sense. Perfect.
Yeah. And then when you start a sleeve, you're surprised again because it's so much faster than the body.
Yes,
and as you knit the sleeve, it gets faster and faster as it gets smaller. The only drawback is you then have to go back and knit the other sleeve, and it starts bigger round again. So that slows you down once you've gotten used to really doing the rounds fast.
And what's Nick working on?
Well, I did start my Phrancko.
Oh.
I decided not to change the gauge, so I am kind of here with it as such.
Oh.
Nice color.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hand-dyed sort of cranberry red. But I'm not 100% happy with my make one left and right on just part of it. And I've tried dropping down the stitches and I've kind of fixed it, but I'm still not 100% happy. So I don't know whether to frog that bit and do it again, or see if I can drop it down again and get them looking perfect. So that's where I am at the moment. But yeah, it's really good. Really enjoying it.
I'm happy to hear that.
I think I got problems when it started, when I had to do it every row 8 times for me, when you're increasing here on the body, and you have to stack all the make one. I think it's probably the make one lefts, and I stack them all on top of each other 8 times.
Yeah.
And my tension just kind of got a bit away from me, and I just wasn't happy with it. So
Yeah,
I've
that
tried
can get
dropping
kind
it.
of tight.
Yeah, I think it has. So I've dropped about 5 stitches down and worked out how to do it while it's still on the needles as such. Well, I've dropped
Oh.
the stitches down.
Mhm.
And it's kind of worked, but I'm still not happy. So I'm going to give it another go. And then if not, I'll frog it back to the where I started the increases every round and just knit it again and pay. The trouble is, I wasn't paying attention, Cindy. I was doing it while watching the TV.
That is always our problem.
No.
Yeah.
No,
So I'll give it another go. But I decided, not to re-gauge it. I thought, no, it will be fine, the gauge that I've got. So thank you for the offer anyway.
It is apparently a very unusual thing to do in a sweater, is to put increases on every round,
Every round.
right next to each other as it goes down. And you do that on the body and the sleeve cap. So it's 8 different places you're doing that through that little section.
It
But
was
that's just
it was
right at the underarm, right?
Yes, right.
Just
It's
that little
as
I mean,
the
it's like, I'm
sleeve
sorry,
starts
we
to
don't go around like this. We really do not.
Right.
I'm a very, very tight knitter. Like I'm applying a tourniquet as I knit. So those stacked increases are difficult for me to manage, just because my stitches are already so tense on the needle. But I have found that I just do my underarm increases as make one opens,
Oh yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
still I can pull them up. Yeah, can you see?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you can
Pull them
see
open,
that it
but
opens.
in a relaxed state,
It
they
works, yeah.
Huh.
put my finger in it. But otherwise, yeah, once you get going,
And make one open is definitely easier.
yeah, that's
do.
easier
That's
for me
just
to
fine.
manage. And I've found it doesn't give me eyelet armpits. It's just fine. Speaking of
Okay,
eyelet
somebody
armpits,
else watch and try that. I want to know how that works.
yeah, if someone has a normal relaxed knitting tension or is a loose knitter, I cannot guarantee that would work. But I'm a tight knitter. Things are tight on my needles. But I wanted to share with you another report very quickly that while watching another television program, I found menswear with open work.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Beautiful.
That
And
works.
this one is pretty dramatic.
Uh-huh.
It is.
but it's
wow.
nice. I like it.
Yeah.
So again, I think that things where you're meant to see the underlayer and very geometric rather than floral or organiform,
Yeah.
curvy lines. It seems
Yeah.
like every yarn over is right next to its decrease, so that the stitches all stay vertical except for the decrease lines. That seems to be what designers have been going for. And I don't know why 2 dramas I've been watching in a row have man with open work knitwear, but
Wow. That's
That's
very
great.
interesting.
it's having a moment, at least in
Wow.
Taiwan and Japan.
So do you think that one's machine knit, or did that look hand knit?
I don't know. Couldn't say.
Yeah.
You could conceivably do that as either. This is the new swatch. I'm considering making that
Oh.
the fabric of that other open work sweater that I shared. I made a large swatch of it in
Uh-huh.
our new yarn, just to see.
Yeah.
Maybe I would like that as like a throw over, like transitional season flowy cardigan thing. So I made a larger, like 7x7 swatch to see how I like the fabric and if it's the sort of thing I could do a whole sweater long.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I'm weighing it. Boy, this looks like a different color on my screen.
What
What
size?
color
Looks
is
like
it?
a purpley blue.
It is not at all indigo in person. It is purple.
Huh.
Oh,
Oh,
Like
wow.
this blue.
I see it as
Doesn't.
It looks
quite
kind of
purple.
like
Yeah.
a
It is not
blueberry.
real. It
Yeah,
is,
it's
it is a
rare
very
blue.
bright,
Yeah.
just like pure violet.
Hmm.
Anyway, that's what, as I continue looking for, like, you know how your eyes are always drawn to like a sweater or someone's wearing when you're watching a film or television?
Mhm.
And now I'm primed extra to notice men wearing open work.
Well, it's easier to watch for stuff like that in a film than it is in the grocery store. When you follow
Yeah.
people around because you're trying to figure out how their sweater is knit or their hat, they kind of look at you weird.
I do that to the kids at the theater when they wear an interesting sweater. It's like, hey, stop that. Stop. Come back here.
Yeah.
Did you know that that's called an old shale pattern? It's distinct from a feather and fan pattern because you see these decreases right here. You're like, okay, can I go?
Ron, I'm going to try to make one open because I'm also a tight knitter and this
Yeah.
yarn is,
Oh,
I'm going to try it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yep.
pull it off, and even
Yep.
if you just make yourself a little swatch, so you don't have to do
Oh.
8 rounds of your whole sweater and then realize you don't like it. I don't want to be responsible for that.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Always,
But-
always swatch first. Swatch first.
Yeah, but I found it is much easier for me to knit, and it does not make a visual difference in the finished garment. But as I say, I'm a very, very tight knitter. I don't know that for people with normal tension or loose tension, only people with hypertension is necessary or useful. But it's been handy for me. I think most of maybe the last 10 Phrankos I've made with make one opens in the underarms.
And did you say, Cindy, that those increases mainly happen under here? Is that where they're
where
happening?
you're doing all the ones right on top of each other? It is. It's right
Yes.
under here.
Mhm.
It's
It's-
where it's
right,
both
okay.
sides are coming in. Mhm.
That makes me
Just
feel a little bit.
just before you are separating the sleeves off.
Yeah, well, I'm just about to do the provisional crochet cast on, but
Yes,
You
so
know,
it's
that
just
bit.
before that.
and I never really equated that they would be under the arm, so I haven't
Yeah,
really
no,
got to be that.
it's under the arm. So you're not.
I'm
you're
not going to
really
be
not
that
gonna be
paranoid
seeing
about
them.
it then.
You're
No,
not gonna
okay,
be
lovely,
seeing them.
thank you.
That's a finished Phrancko in a bulky weight yarn. You can
Yeah,
see the where are they? Oh, there they are,
all right,
Oh,
yeah,
all right.
and they're tucked. If I open this
yeah,
up,
they tuck under, don't they?
yeah,
Mhm.
right
Yeah,
under the
it is.
sleeve.
It's
Mm.
where
Oh, that's
where
great.
it
Okay,
curves
lovely.
under
Mm.
that arm side.
Yeah, what
Yeah,
they're doing
that's-
physically is pulling in the arm. They're making it so that the sweater tucks in under the shoulder. And then
Yeah.
you just have the straight, what's it called? Recess. This is all about the recess between the two vertical parts,
Yeah,
or the almost vertical parts. So at first there's a diagonal recess. I should make myself larger so you can see my hand movements. I see you. Let's see. There you go, Ron.
there you are.
So you have the bell-shaped curve that's going down, and then you want two diagonal recesses to go under the front and back of the arm, and then the horizontal recess is directly under the arm. So
Yes.
that's why they're tight. They're pulling the whole sweater into two corners that then are going to be connected by the horizontal recess.
Right, okay. I'm not going to be so pedantic with myself about it then, because on 3 of the corners they're perfectly right, and on the fourth corner, on the fourth one, I'm like, yeah, it's a bit holy, and I'm not quite happy with it, and I was going to frog it all out, but I don't think I will if it's going to be hidden away somewhere.
Well, with that, I think we have completed the hour, and it's time to say goodbye for another week.
Okay.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank
It's
you,
been
thank
another
you.
delightful time
Have a
getting
nice week.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a lovely
Bye-bye, my
time. Thank you,
friends.
everyone.
Be safe.
Bye,
Yeah,
everyone.
bye.